Welcome to our channel. Today we delve into chilling tales of new homeowners encountering the unimaginable. Imagine you finally saved enough to buy your dream home, but a darker presence already resides within those walls. These are 4 disturbing true new house horror stories.
In the quaint town of Willow Creek, nestled among rolling hills and ancient trees, stood an elegant Victorian house, its grandeur a stark contrast to the modest homes around it. The Blackwood family, eager for a fresh start after a series of unfortunate events, purchased the property at a surprisingly low price, unaware of the secrets it held. From the first night, things felt off. The air seemed heavier, and an unsettling silence filled the rooms. The whispers started subtly, faint murmurs from the walls that could easily be dismissed as the house settling. Then came the cold spots, icy air clinging to certain areas, making the family shiver despite the warmth of the season. Little Emily Blackwood was the first to see them, the shadowy figures that seemed to move just out of the corner of her eye. The shadowy figures of a man, a woman, and a young boy haunted Emily's dreams, their faces twisted in sorrow and despair. One night, the antique chandelier above them began to sway violently, as if an unseen force was trying to tear it from the ceiling. The whispers grew louder, more insistent, filling the house with a cacophony of voices that seemed to come from nowhere and everywhere at once. Driven to the brink of madness, the Blackwoods called in a paranormal investigator, hoping to find some explanation for the strange occurrences. What she uncovered chilled them to the bone. The house had a dark history, one that had been forgotten by time but not by the spirits trapped within its walls. The family who once lived and died in the house were trapped, their souls tethered by a tragedy that had left them unable to move on. The investigator discovered that the family had perished in a fire that had been set deliberately by an unknown hand. Determined to help the trapped spirits find closure, the Blackwoods decided to take action. They couldn't bear the thought of leaving the souls to suffer for eternity. They held a séance to reach out to those who linger beyond the veil, hoping to communicate with the spirits and offer them peace. As the flames of the candles flickered, the room grew heavy with the weight of the unseen, a palpable tension that made the air thick and hard to breathe. The investigator spoke. "We know you're here, and we want to help you find peace. Please, tell us what you need." A cold breeze swept through the room, extinguishing the candles and plunging them into darkness. The temperature dropped suddenly, and the family huddled together for warmth. When the Blackwoods lit the candles again, the oppressive atmosphere had lifted, replaced by a sense of calm and tranquility. The whispers ceased, the cold spots vanished, and Emily's nightmares were no more. The house, once a place of fear, had become a sanctuary. The Blackwood family remained in the Victorian house, no longer afraid. They had faced the darkness and emerged stronger, their bond unbreakable. They had found a way to coexist with the spirits, understanding that the house was not just their home, but a resting place for those who had come before.
John and Mary found their dream home, a charming craftsman bungalow. It all started with the basement. The previous owners had sealed it shut, claiming it was unnecessary space. John saw it as potential for a workshop. The moment John broke the seal, a musty cold gust of air hit him. As John explored further, he felt an overwhelming sense of dread. He discovered a hidden room behind a dusty old bookcase. Inside, the air was even more oppressive. The room was filled with strange and disturbing artifacts. One day, John found a small, leather-bound journal. Its pages spoke of a dark and twisted history. The journal belonged to the builder of the house, a man obsessed with the occult. His writing spoke of summoning dark entities and sacrifices. The basement seemed to feed off John's fear. Mary convinced him to leave the basement sealed. But it was too late. The evil had already taken root. Nightmares plagued their sleep. Whispers followed them through the halls. John and Mary eventually fled their dream home. The bungalow remained empty, a chilling reminder. Some doors are best left unopened, some secrets better left buried. The nightmare had taken hold of their lives.
Chapter 3. The Poltergeist in the Suburbs. The Harper family moved into a quiet suburban home. They were excited about the new beginning, envisioning a peaceful life filled with joy and laughter. It seemed like the perfect place to raise a family. The neighborhood was friendly, the schools were excellent, and the house itself was spacious and inviting. But beneath the veneer of normalcy, a malevolent entity lurked. It started subtly, almost imperceptibly at first. Toys moving on their own, disembodied whispers, and the unsettling feeling of being watched. The paranormal activity intensified over time, growing more and more disturbing. Objects flew across the room, doors slammed shut, and the children's laughter turned to screams. The once happy home was now a place of fear and anxiety. One evening, the television flickered erratically before shutting off. The family sat in stunned silence, unsure of what to do. The room grew deathly silent. The air felt thick with tension, as if something was about to happen. Suddenly, the lights began to flicker violently. The family huddled together, their fear palpable. A cold, unseen hand gripped Emily, the youngest Harper child. She screamed in terror, her small body trembling. Her terrified cries echoed through the house. The family rushed to her aid, but they were powerless against the unseen force. The unseen force dragged her into her bedroom, slamming the door shut with a deafening bang. The Harpers tried to open the door, but it wouldn't budge. They pounded on it, shouting Emily's name, but there was no response. They could hear Emily's terrified screams from behind the door. It was a sound that would haunt them forever. After what felt like an eternity, the door suddenly swung open. The family rushed in, their hearts pounding. Emily lay on the floor, her eyes wide with terror. She was unharmed, but the fear in her eyes was unmistakable. Desperate for answers, the Harpers called in a renowned paranormal investigator. They hoped he could provide some explanation for the terrifying events. He detected a surge of paranormal energy from Emily's bedroom. The air was thick with it, almost suffocating. The entity was a poltergeist, feeding off negative energy. It thrived on the fear and anxiety it caused. The investigator performed a cleansing ritual. He chanted ancient incantations, burning sage to purify the space. The house fell silent, the oppressive atmosphere lifting. The family could finally breathe a sigh of relief. The poltergeist was gone, its reign of terror finally over. The Harpers could now begin the process of healing and reclaiming their home.
Chapter 4. The Cursed New Build. The Thompson family moved into their newly built home with high hopes and dreams. They had spent months planning and designing every detail, ensuring it would be their perfect sanctuary. The house was perfect, a testament to modern architecture. It boasted sleek lines, expansive windows, and state-of-the-art amenities. It was everything they had ever wanted. But beneath the surface, a darkness lingered. Unbeknownst to them, the land held secrets that were about to unravel. At first, the signs were subtle. A misplaced item here, a strange noise there. They brushed it off as the quirks of a new home. Footsteps echoed through the empty halls, disembodied whispers, and objects vanished. The paranormal activity escalated. What started as minor disturbances soon became impossible to ignore. One evening, the lights flickered and died. The house was plunged into an eerie darkness, amplifying their growing unease. A cold, unseen hand brushed against Sarah Thompson's cheek. Panic surged through her. She could feel the presence of something sinister, something that did not belong. The darkness seemed to pulsate with a malevolent energy. It was as if the house itself was alive, breathing with an ancient, malevolent force. The temperature plummeted, and the air grew thick with the stench of decay. It was a smell that clung to their clothes and filled their lungs, making it hard to breathe. The Thompson family huddled together in the darkness, their fear palpable. They could feel the presence of something watching them, waiting. They could hear strange noises all around them. The creaking of floorboards, the distant sound of crying, and the occasional whisper that sent chills down their spines. When the lights flickered back on, the scene was chaotic. It was as if a storm had torn through their home, leaving destruction in its wake. Furniture was overturned, picture frames shattered, and a dark liquid oozed from the walls. It was a scene straight out of a nightmare. The Thompsons contacted the construction company, desperate for answers. They needed to know what was happening in their home. The foreman revealed their home was built on an ancient burial ground. The revelation sent shivers down their spines. During excavation, they had unearthed human remains and secretly reburied them. The construction company had hoped to avoid any delays or legal issues. Their actions had angered the spirits. The improper burial had disturbed the rest of those who had been laid to rest there. The construction company agreed to exhume the remains and relocate them. They knew it was the only way to appease the spirits and bring peace to the Thompson family. A local priest performed a cleansing ritual. The oppressive atmosphere lifted. The house felt lighter, as if a great weight had been removed. The haunting ceased. The entity appeased. The Thompson family could finally breathe a sigh of relief. The Thompson family remained in their home. They had faced their fears and come out stronger on the other side, their fear replaced by a newfound respect for the unseen forces. They learned to coexist with the spirits, honoring the history of the land they now called home.
If you enjoyed these chilling tales, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon for more horror stories. Stay safe and sleep tight.